Hello knockouts, TonyaTko here, and I'm going to jump right into the subject because I tried recording this video earlier and there was a cacophony of just cockle-doodle-dooing behind me, and at one point I started screaming out at them in their language, and the whole video just it turned into a ruckus. So I had to stop the video because then it was like goats were crying. It wasn't even a goat, I think it was a baby, and it was too much. So I was like, you know, it's not the right time to make the video. So I've actually calmed down a little bit, and I'm going to be making the video now. We're going to be talking about some black issues in this video. We're going to talk about religion, we're going to talk about blackness, we're going to talk about Sandra Bland, we're going to talk about Farrakhan, black churches, religion. Do you hear them? Okay, did you hear the roosters? It's like, I don't understand why they're doing this. It's like, it's almost 4 p.m. The sun is not just coming out, but you know what? I'm gonna let them have that because you probably can't hear them. I can hear them. I'll ignore them because I know. Listen. So the title of my video is what have we done over the past 50 years since Jim Crow ended? And there's a part of me that's really angry. I'm so angry that I'm calm. Have you ever been that angry that you're just like, it's like it's circulating through my it's circulating through my bloodstream. I'm so angry. Like the other night I was on Facebook and I was talking about just like I was feeling really, as a woman, I was feeling really vulnerable, really exposed, unprotected, and I was just like thinking about how we as black people, that there's no seeming ramifications for violence against us, for murders against us. And it's like, this is not anything that's new. It's like, what's new is the technology of cameras, you know. But like this young lady hanging, black people have been getting hung in this country for hundreds of years, ever since we had the audacity to be like, we don't want to be slaves anymore. It's like, how do you get angry at a person because they don't want to be a slave anymore? They don't want to work for free. You don't even want to do the work, let alone other people doing it for free, and beatings and all the subjugation, just the horrible, inhuman things that took place. But nonetheless, right, that's not what this video is about. This video is about, I was just reflecting over how far. Now listen, we've come pretty far in certain respect, but when I was really thinking about the things that are going to build a foundation for success for us in this country, I was just wondering, what have we really accomplished? The thing that made me think about it is because in my rage, I was really, as a woman, I was just like, I was just, there's so much swimming on inside my mind. I took some notes. I'm going to open up my book in just a moment. But one of the things that I was saying, and those of you on my Facebook page, you know, I was really angry the other day, and I was talking about how we really need to organize. There was a part of me that was feeling really defeated because I'm like, you know, there should be some sort of faction for us to be able to have some sort of protection. Like if the police are not going to protect us, who is going to protect us? You know, so I was really wishing that we had like a group of ninjas, black ninjas. And some of you know that the word ninja is colloquial for another word, but I was just like, we really need some people who could move in the stealth and really go in and handle business. Because I'm like, all these people talking all this junk about George Zimmerman, but it's like the part that was really frustrating me when I was thinking about Sandra Bland. And I was thinking how if this were someone in my family, like, okay, Trayvon Martin died, and we have to, as a community, we have to live with that, but so does his family. And I just can't imagine that as a family member of someone who met a fate like that, that there's not a part of you that's like, you know what, we're going to send in a small militia, take this man out his house, and enact our own blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to say anything for FBI to come check upon my door, so I'm just going to leave that alone. But what I'm saying is, and then it brought me back to these thoughts and ideas that I was having when I went to buy a building in California, because I was like, okay, you know, I could get a building where I can do the production for TKO Skin, and the building can be big enough that I can also have a production area in there for the TonyaTko show, where I could build my own set, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I started realizing that there's no, because listen, buying a commercial building has different rules than buying a residential building, and the criteria is different. And I started wondering, where the black credit unions, because you know what, you put in an application for something and you get denied for any number of reasons. Traditional sources deny people, and it's like, a friend of mine brought this to my attention. He was like, you know, people can tell by looking at your resume that you're black. And I'm like, how can they tell? My name is Tonya. And he was like, well, you know, you look at the organizations that, the school that you went to. I went to a historically black college, but that's nothing, because there were also some Caucasians that go to historically black colleges and universities. All right. But then if you look at the organizations that you're in, I was a member of like a business women's organization. And then if you're a member of the, let's say the national, if you're a member of the National Association of Black Journalists, I mean, they know that you're black. So it's like, sometimes you put in an application for something, if they can't tell from the name, they can tell from the area that you live in, or they can tell from the school you went to, the associations you were in, the types of awards you won. Let's say if you won the top 30 under 30 African American award. You know, we're going to talk about awards as well. I want to get right into the video. Listen, where's my notes? My notes. How's everybody out there doing? Right now I'm in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It's really hot, but some of the breeze is blowing. I know I'm in the shadows right now because there's not much light, and my camera picks up real dark too. So how is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing well. When I get back into the United States, I'm going to do a cleanse, and you guys really have to look into doing your bi-yearly cleanses. So nonetheless, my page is up, and I'm also I'm considering going raw vegan. That video of the 70-year-old woman who looks 40, she it's sending me over the edge now, sending me over the edge. Plus, I want to be as healthy as possible for as long as possible, because there's a part of me that feels like I'm getting a late start in life. I gotta live longer. Listen. Let's jump right into the video. Let's jump right in. All right. Black people, what have we been doing for the past 50 years? We talked about money. We're going to talk about money, info protection, our image, our story, awards, fashion, food, education, and services. This is all of the stuff we're going to cover in this video. So let's talk about number one. We talked about, money. You know, I've been doing some research over the past few years, and the average net worth of a Caucasian family, of a Caucasian in the United States, is $111,000. $111,000. Is it? It's either 111 or 130. I don't want to look it up right now, but the stats are out there. It's over $100,000, and the net worth of the average black person is $10,000. And part of the reason for such a tremendous disparity is the ownership of property and land. And you know, for the longest time, black people were not able to own property and not able to own land. And when we did, you know, our land would be seized, it would be burned, we would be harassed, terrorized, killed. Our deeds would just be taken and given away, and we'd be forced off the land. And it was like, you know, and there was no one there to really advocate for us, because the laws were against us, the government was against us. And you know, and it all reached a boiling point in the 60s, and that's part of what I want to talk about. Since 1965, when Jim Crow ended, what have we done with all the black millionaires that exist out there and all of the people that came before us? Why are there no, I mean, I think there's only one, Carver. I think, and it's a really small credit union. Why don't we have like a major, like Citibank, something huge with all of the millions and billions of dollars that we black people have worldwide? Why is there no credit union? Why is there no banking system that helps people who are qualified for loans but just can't get them the traditional way for whatever reason they decide to deny those people or deny us? So here we go. Next subject, our information. I put up a post on my Facebook and also on my Instagram. Go check that out about there are thousands of newspapers, thousands of news outlets, and thousands of radio stations, and they're all owned by just 6 corporations. And so the same narrative is being spoken time and time again, you know, the conservative view or whatever type of view that they have that they're putting out there. Like in this Sandra Bland case, and in many different cases, it's like, you know, there's this collective voice. Like now they're trying to say that she smoked a tremendous amount of marijuana or swallowed a tremendous amount of marijuana, blah blah blah. And it's like, and so they're pushing this out there. They're pushing, and whatever story it is that they'd like to tell about what's going on is how we have to hear it. It's only controlled by 6 different corporations, and so it's like the same voice is out there. Over the past 50 years, why is it that we don't have a major network that can tell a different narrative? It doesn't have to necessarily be a black narrative, but where's the conglomerate, the media conglomerate that can tell just a different narrative, one that can just show a different point of view? Let's get on to the next point. I want to know, why is it, you know, in thinking about this Sandra Bland thing, I was just wondering, why is it that we haven't, like, where's the hackers, where are we? Where are the people who can infiltrate the systems and be able to get in? And why is it that we don't have people who are positioned in places of power that can open the door for a different type of discussion, for different types of information going out and also coming in? And then we talked about protection a little bit and why we don't have a well-trained armed militia. Why don't we? And most of the black people who have access to guns are using them to kill one another. Why is it that, you know what? I want you guys, as soon as you get out of the studio, remember these words, bastards of the party. I want you to please go watch this documentary and see what happened to the Black Panther Party and how the FBI, this is known, how the FBI, this is not conspiracy theory, it's documented now, and they speak openly about it now, but how the FBI went in and really usurped those organizations and how they actually turned into the Bloods and the Crips. Go look at Bastards of the Party. Even if you have to pause my video, no, don't pause my video. You go watch that after my video. Yeah, so Bastards of the Party, and it's like, so you know, the government was so afraid of black people with guns and black people arming ourselves, because it's like, you know what do you do? What do you do? It's like, I saw I know I'm taking a long time to do this video, but I saw a video of a boy. He was in Florida, a little boy. He was about 14 years old, and he was a skateboarder, and this big, oh my God, this big burly white cop with a vest on started beating him up. And it was like, because he was rolling past, and like the cop clotheslined him or whatnot, and he started beating up this little boy. And it made me, I wanted to just black out, and I wanted that cop, I wanted someone to protect this little boy from the cop. And it's like, nowadays, in present day society, there's really nothing that you can do. A cop can touch you, a cop can hit you, a cop can snatch you, choke you, shoot you, and there's nothing that you can do about it except just lay there and die. It's like there's no recourse, there's no protection, there's nothing. It's like, I would, that part right there really troubles me. It really troubles me, but let's move on to the next point. our image and our story. You know, in India they have Bollywood, in Nigeria they have Nollywood, Ghana they have Gollywood, they have so many Hollywoods all over the place. I'm just wondering, why is it that we have no Afro-Mollywood or Afro-Hollywood or Afro-Hollywood, or why is it that we have no African American major media outlet that will produce movies that tell a different story? You know what? I saw this movie. Gosh, what was the name of this movie? It had, I forget the leading lady. Was it Sanaa Lathan? Oh, who was the leading lady in this? It had, you know, I remember the leading man. Goodness gracious. It was, Idris Elba, and he was like playing this loco dude, and it was like a horror movie. And this was one of very few times, I think it was the very first movie that I'd ever seen that starred a major black cast that wasn't a black movie, if you know what I mean. It's like you could have taken any one of those characters out and put anyone of a different race, and the story would have still worked, the story would have still fit. Because it's like, you know, all too often when we go to watch these Hollywood films, it's like, and you see a black movie, it's a black movie talking about black this and black, and it's like, being a black person is not, it's not like how it is in the movies. Like, it's not like how it is in Hollywood. It's not like that. It's like, we live and breathe and eat and sleep and go to the grocery store. We love, we dance, we go to school, we go to work. It's like, being black is, it's like, we're humans above all else. And it's like, all too often these Hollywood movies it's just I don't know how else to describe it, people. I don't know how to describe it. It's just not a slice of real life. Like, I would love to be able to just watch black film or black films that are just telling a story, and it doesn't have to be, you know, a Boys in the Hood, or just about the black experience, or 12 years a slave. That it doesn't have to be that. It could just be a story. It's like you go to watch a regular movie. It's like they have TV shows where people friends. They just sit around and they're just friends sitting around talking. I would love to be able to just relax and watch a movie about just life. I remember when I started watching Nollywood movies. I mean, Nollywood movies are something in and of themselves, but it was really surprising to me to see the different types of black beauty that are able to be cast in major starring roles. It's like, in Hollywood, you got the same old players playing different roles to represent a wide array of different people, and it's like, I would love to be able to see different looks. I would love to be able to see different complexions in leading roles, or in the antagonist role, the protagonist role. I would just love to be able to see something different hair textures. You know, I would love to be able to see that, different nose widths, because so many people, you want to make it in Hollywood, you have to have slight features. It's like, you can have whatever color skin as long as your features are slight and minimal. I don't know how else to put it. Let's go on. I'm sorry. It upsets me. It does. It does. Because when people start talking about black beauty, and black beauty just being another Caucasian featured person with dark skin, let me move on to the next point. Come on now, let's go. I also wanted to talk about the reward and award systems. You know, it's like we get so upset at the Emmys and the Grammys and the Tonys and the different awards, because we're not getting the type of awards that we feel that we should be getting. And it's like, we spend so long begging to get these awards, but who made them the authority? Who? It's like, why can't we create an award system and give them our awards and see, and just have, You know what? I'm trying. Come on, Tonya, keep going. I want to just jump up and just start. I want to start screaming because I'm like, we over here like begging. It's like, who made these people the authority? It's like, it's as simple as go design your own award and create your own award show, and not just make it all about black people. Go give them some awards too. Give them some awards. It's like, you know what? It's like, okay. It's like, you know, we spend so much time comparing our worth by a standard. You know what? Oh gosh. I was watching, I think this person's name is Slay. I was watching these different videos. I got caught up in watching like these scandal interviews on YouTube. And the Bellamy Young, I think her name is, the one who plays Melly. She's gone on this morning show. And the morning host, I think his name was Slay or whatever, he was just going on and on about, oh, how beautiful she is, oh, how amazing, oh, how she just looks so good, and how he wanted her so much, blah, blah, blah. And you think about the standard of beauty, right? Because I had when I was in New York, I had the very first person who did my accounting work for me was German. And he was gorgeous. He was so gorgeous, and I was just stunned by the gorgeousness that this guy had. I'm like, why are you not a model, right? And he was like, oh, in Germany there are so many that look like me. And then I started looking at his features, and I started thinking about the standard of beauty. So like from where he is in Germany, there's so many of him with his pointy nose and his little blue eyes and his blonde hair and his fair skin and his chiseled cheekbones and his angled jaw. He was like, there's just so many of him. And I started thinking about the standard of beauty and how, you know, it's very easy for certain people to embody the standard of beauty. Even black people who have very minimal features, it's very easy for them to slide into the category of the standard of beauty with their symmetrical features and their features where it could be any skin color. Like, you really can't, there's no racial identity to their features, if you understand what I'm saying. I don't know how else to put it, but it's like, it's very easy to be able to fall or to be a part of a standard of beauty that has features that are akin to your type of people. I don't know how else to put it, but it's like, if you look at my hair, if someone else had to judge their standard of beauty by how much they can have their hair stand up in an afro, it's like some people will never be able to achieve this. They will never be able to achieve this. Their hair will never be like that. And it's like, there's just such oh my God, how did this video become this? This is not what I wanted to talk about. I honestly didn't. But so something like this is easy for me, but for a person who can't get their hair to stand up like that, if this was the standard of beauty, how would the person whose hair doesn't grow like this ever be able to, you know what, it troubles me, because it's like, you know, Jim Crow ended 50 years ago, and then here we are. We just started the Team Natural movement, just started it by young people of this generation 50 years later. And it's like, what were the things that were put in place? It's like, what we were handed down were jerry curls and hair straighteners, and it's like, what were the things that were put in place to help us succeed as black people in this nation? The hair care products and the body care products and the clothes built for us. You know what, I skipped over the list of fashion where we talk about clothes and body types, and even why this is up until now considered nude. I didn't even realize until when I was in Jordan, and I was in a room with a Caucasian girl. I didn't even realize why this was called nude. It wasn't until I saw her in a bra like this and panties, and she looked naked, but she had on, and it wasn't until that it clicked for me, and I'm like, oh, this is this color because it's called nude because it looks nude on certain people. And I didn't realize, I swear, I did not realize that Band-Aids blended into the color of a person's skin until I realized that a white person had a Band-Aid on and I couldn't really see it because it was blended so well into their skin. And I was like, all this time I've been wearing Band-Aids, it's been sticking out like a sore thumb. It was really supposed to be the color of the skin, but we're the brown Band-Aids. And it's like, so efforts have been made just recently, and I'm like, what has been going on over the past 50 years to help us as black people? All of those people who were 20 and 30 when Jim Crow ended, what did they put in place? All of the Oprahs. You mean to tell me that Oprah and all of the people in black media, no one ever, even Spike Lee, as militant as he is, where is the Afrollywood? Where is it? No place to be able to like a collective mass media that is contributed to by the people who came before us to pave an easier way for us. Oh goodness, food, sustainable green initiative, education. Oh my goodness, you know, it's like, I just, you know, we're constantly getting angry about people not, and in Texas, they want to remove slavery. It's either in Texas, someplace in the South, they want to remove slavery from the history books because it's inconvenient. It doesn't paint a good picture of the South, and it's like so many different things. The inventions that were stolen by other people from their black servants because black people couldn't apply for patents and stuff like that. All of the inventions and all of the things, and Timbuktu and the 15 dynasties that existed in Africa before European intrusion. It's like, how many of you have ever heard of Timbuktu or the 15 dynasties? There's a book called The World in Africa by W.E.B. Du Bois. That book changed my life when I was just getting out of college. Look that up, The World in Africa. It talks about so much. And it's like, here we are in this day and age. Our education still being controlled by other people. We're still fighting for his story instead of history, and it's like, it's so frustrating. And so services, where's the network of accountants and doctors and lawyers, dating sites, matchmakers? Because black people in this day and age, we really need some matchmakers. We really do. If you want to talk about keeping the black family together, getting people to meet who, I'm sorry, I'm frustrated. The builders and the contractors, and you know, a friend of mine we were talking, there's this documentary about black men in Brazil. And they're talking about, oh, how the women over there know how to treat a man like a man, and how the black women over here in the United States don't know how to treat a man like a man, et cetera, et cetera. And my friend was talking about how these men are sitting up in another man's patriarchy, sitting down in chairs that were built by other men, roads that were carved out by other men, and systems like systems that were put in place by men of that area to keep their women protected and to make their women feel protected so that they could relax and be like, ah, here's a straw for your drink, honey. Oh, here, let me make that plate for you. But it's like, here when we're feeling under attack and we feel like we're on our own and our mates and dating is a battleground. And listen, I read this article the other day. I posted it on my Facebook page, and I posted it on Twitter too. It was called, if black men don't have anything to offer black women, they need to leave them the hell alone. Something like that. I don't remember the exact title. But there was one part in there that really stood out to me where the author, who was a black man, he was talking about how certain black men are not even friends to black women, do them so dirty. It's like, like not even, like, oh goodness. You know what? There's some stuff that I want to say, but I'm going to keep it to myself. And I'll say it in another video in the future. But I'm just like, and then if you even think about it nowadays, right, with this the whole friend zone thing, and how being a friend to a woman is like some injustice, some sour constellation prize that don't nobody want, that they're like friends. It's like a woman is of no other worth besides what it is that she could give of her body or her loins to this man. I need to sigh. God have mercy. And then, you know, Farrakhan, all of these people who have been here for so many decades, what has changed in the past 50 years? What has changed? You know, I remember it was in the 90s. I was reading this article in Cosmo. You know what? It was sometime around. It was sometime around. Remember Desperate Housewives? The woman who played Gabrielle Solis. I forget her real name, but she's a Latina, and she was on The Young and the Restless for a few shows before she went on to Desperate Housewives. And when she was on this show, oh my God, her body was banging. You want to talk about curves? Boom, 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 boom. I was like, woo. When I used to see her on The Young and the Restless, I was like, wow. But before she was able to transition over to Desperate Housewives, she had to lose a lot of weight. And I remember I read this article in Cosmo around the same time, and it was talking about Jennifer Lopez, and they were like, how did she get rid of her devastating derriere? I was like, devastating derriere? This was around the time that she was dating Ben Affleck and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, how is her derriere devastating? I was like, everybody, you know, always talked about J-Lo booty and all this other stuff, right? But nonetheless, it was like when she wanted to cross over mainstream, there was a certain figure that she had to keep and maintain, right? And then now all of a sudden, the script is flipped, and now everybody wants big butts, and they want juicy lips, and they want all of these different things that are indigenous to our people. I don't want to say indigenous to our people, natural characteristics, right? And so, oh, you know what, I got to get out of the video. Natural characteristics for us, and it's like, why were we waiting so long for somebody else to tell us that our body parts were beautiful, and you know what? And then this whole, you know how people are like so ashamed of twerking, like black people, oh my God. Black people are horrified by twerking, horrified. And when I was in California, I went to this event. It was right before some big, it was like the Webbies or something like that. And I met this young lady, this very slim, skinny young lady, and I asked her what it was that she did. And she said that she did twerking videos. She was like from some European country. She said she did twerking videos, and I was like, twerking videos? And I looked to the back and it was flat. And I was like, twerking, what the heck? And she was unabashed, she was unashamed. She turned it into an entire business, and it was like, and she was being awarded for it. And I remember I saw this Russian dance squad, and it was like, they were over there, they had a troupe, and it was like her in the front, and I think her name was like Frilo or Fred, I don't remember what her name was, but she was like twerking, and her little butt was trying, and I was like, oh, here we were. We spent so much time feeling ashamed, and it's such you fat, you fatties, you Satianas, and all this other stuff, talking about black girls and black women who were doing this, and then someone else comes in and they turn it into an entire enterprise. They turn it into an entire enterprise, and I'm like, how long are we going to have this switcheroo, you know, where we're left holding the bag? It's like where these people tell us that certain features are ugly for so long, and then they turn around and want to get those features themselves, pay and go under the knife for certain features. You know what? I want to get out of here. Before I go, I want to talk about black churches, because I'm very angry at black churches, all of their members and all of the money that these black churches collect. And I remember a few years ago when I was thinking about entering into a real estate group where all of us would put our money together and we would buy real estate. And I started thinking about the power of collectively joining your monies together. And I started thinking about the black churches and how they have so many people who come together. And it's like, even if the people in the church don't have the know-how and the savvy, somebody in the church does. It's like, but where is all of the money from the collection going? Even if the preacher wanted to keep the money from the collection, why is no one in the black church really talking about sustainable ways that we black people can really gain some economic power and some upward mobility in America? Where are the black churches who could be like, let's join a, let me just let that pass by real quick. We're the black churches who are talking about, let's join our monies together and start buying up. God, how did you people, how did we let Harlem get taken away from us? How? All of you people who were hustling and bustling in the 70s and 80s. I wasn't old enough to buy anything in the 90s, but what about all of the entities that existed, all of the black churches, all of the conglomerations of black people? What were we doing? How did Harlem get taken away from us? How did Bed-Stuy now become Bedford-Stuyvesant? Why is it that we are not buying blocks, building buildings, making condominiums for other people to rent, for us to rent? Why are we being pushed out of New York? New York is becoming, listen, I'm so angry. It's frustrating and it's angering, because it's like all of our forefathers and foremothers and the people who left this to us right here, right now, and what it is that we have, what do we have? What was put in place for us? It was like there was no forethought. Where are the scholarships for us to be able to go to college, so that we don't have to come out with all of this debt, so that opportunities are not taken from us? Oh gosh. And then you want to talk about, there's just so much. You know, so many people have turned to homeschooling. And then a friend of mine mentioned on Facebook the other day that, you know, that the schools, the Catholic school, like if you want your child to get a specialized education and it be Christian or whatever. Now, I'm not really down for, you know, the whole teaching of Christianity and all that other stuff, but some people are. But where are the black churches that have Christian schools that are up to par? Where are the people who are down with homeschooling education for children, and maybe in a group setting, so that maybe 5 or 6, so you can grow it from there, but with like these, I forget, magnet schools, is it? I can't think of what it's called, but the, like, you know what, I don't know if anyone's feeling me. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I do. I feel like I'm talking to myself, because I don't know who feels what I'm saying. I feel like I'm rambling. Do you feel what I'm saying? Did any of this make sense? What has been, it's like we're just left here like no one ever thought, oh, maybe our children may want to buy a house. No one ever thought that? It's like we get out of college, we're $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in debt. Our credit's all messed up because no one ever taught us about credit. And then we got nothing. No house, no nothing on the horizon. No one ever thought. I mean, and you know what, it's like we're made to feel so guilty about talking about black issues, but pretending like it's not here, pretending like there aren't black issues is not helping. And it's like, oh, it's racist for you to want to take care of your own or whatnot. I remember I read this little meme, and the meme hurt my heart so bad. And the meme was like, black women go to Asians to get their nails done. Can you think of something that Asian women go to for black women, or Asians go to black women for? What business do Asian people come to black people for? What business? Because if they want some fried chicken, they own the fried chicken places in the hood. What service do they come to us for? I couldn't think of one. I couldn't think of one specific service that they come to us for. Not one. Not one. If you want to buy some hair care products in the hood, guess who owns the stores? The Asians, the Korean people own the stores. And I was reading this thing that was talking about how many hands for certain community the money passes through before it leaves the community. And in some communities it passed through 15 different hands. My landlord, for my production loft in Brooklyn, where TKO Skin was at, he was Jewish. And I remember one day I opened up the door and he told me, he was like, there was a Jewish word for it or a Yiddish word or whatnot and he was like, he was making an introduction. It was like a business introduction of two people who had complementary businesses. You know, I sold skincare, and one of his new tenants sold jars and bottles, so he brought us together. And I was like, I've never experienced that before, but that makes a lot of sense. You know, so when I started talking to him about how he became successful. And you know, it's crazy. It's like everyone who he does business with is Jewish. They think I'm lying. His accountant is Jewish. His doctor, his dentist, the building that he lives in, he owns, of course, he's Jewish. And who else? Even down to his realtor, the people who show his place, where he lists his place, everyone around him is Jewish. All of the people he does business with are Jewish. And the money is able to help people who are Jewish. And so the money stays in and they grow stronger when as black people, I think it said it after one hand, it goes straight from our hands out of the community. And so the money is never really able, because you know, as a business owner, the wages that I pay to my employee, this person takes the money, and then they take that money and they're able to live, they're able to do the things that they're able to do with it, right? When I give this money to them and they give the money to someone else, you know, it was like, I don't know, because I remember I wanted to hire my sister. I couldn't hire my sister. So the money that I could have been paying, which would have helped my nieces, the money that I would have paid, I paid to someone else and their family. On that note, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to go. Listen, we talked about a lot of things in this video. Please give me your comments and your thoughts below. I'm not ranting. Actually, I am ranting a little bit. I want to know what our foreparents left us. It's like, it's up to us now, 50 years later. It's like now we're the ones who have to start something. We need to do something. We need to make a change. We need to figure out a way for us to really be able to become successful in this country. And part of I remember there was a guy that I had, you know, people say whatever it is that they want to say about me, but I always happen to attract men who are doing well financially. Me personally, I don't know what it is. My vibration just attracts well-to-do men, entrepreneurs, stuff like that. I don't really have I don't have nothing in common with people who listen, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But nonetheless, there was a guy that I was seeing, and he was a developer. He developed buildings, brownstones in Brooklyn and Harlem. And he was like, you know what, Tonya? He was like, you know, there's no industry that we black people dominate. And he had reached a snag because in New York, a certain number of entities are owned by mafia. This is what he was telling me. And he was like, part of the reason that black people don't get the respect that I'm not going to say that we deserve. Part of the reason that we don't get respect is because we dominate no industry. We're really not coming at the issue in a way that people can understand. I don't even think that it's really so much that we're black. I think it's that we are disempowered, disenfranchised, and we're downtrodden. We're broke. It's like we are the quote unquote underprivileged. So we really, like, for example, this situation with Sandra Bland. Damn it. Damn. That nobody could come up with $500 for that girl to get her out of jail, whether she was snuffed out by someone else or whether she took her own life, that she was in there for days and nobody, and the one person and the one person who said that he was going to bring the money for her never brought it. Damn, $500? And I have to start thinking about my life. If something, number one, listen, some cop pulls me, I'm not calling no cop, no PUSSY. I'm not egging them. I'm putting my hands behind my back. I'm laying down on the ground. And it's like, even with that, it doesn't matter. It's like, did you see the guy in the pizza shop who he had his hands up? And they just started, this cop just comes in and just starts punching him in the face. And it's like, I'm doing anything and everything in my power to get out of that situation as minimally scathed as possible. We need some tremendous overhaul in our system. And until then, I'm putting my hands behind my back. I am, yes sir, whatever sir, I don't care. I don't care, because I'm sorry. I want to get out of here. I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable and I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm upset. Because you know what, is we sit here and we act so powerless. And it's like, when time comes to, it's like, gosh, you know what? I'm upset about a lot of things. I'm upset about the state of the world that we're in. I'm upset about how we're sitting by and letting these laws get passed that we're not participating in. It's like, you know, the first time that I had been up to Albany to see my assembly person and my senators was when I went up there with Freelancers Union. And it's like, here we are in this country and nobody's really talking to us about how a bill becomes a law, about making phone calls to our Congress people, to our assembly people, to our borough presidents. It's like these people who get in office, and if they don't represent us, then they shouldn't be able to get our vote. And so many of us who don't even bother to vote. And you know what, there's a candidate coming up by the name of Bernie Sanders, and if you haven't heard of him, please look him up. I'm going to try and see if I could get on this show, The Young Turks, because I want you guys to watch The Young Turks, because this election is going to be a very important election. We have a lot of things going on. We have deregulations that are happening. We need to get rid of fossil fuels. You know, this video didn't turn into something else. We need to get rid of fossil fuels. There's so many different things that we need to change. And it's like, we got climate change and these low wages and the trickle up, and how the 1%, it's like 1% of the population has as much money as 99% of us. Our productivity has gone up. We're working harder, working longer, but the wages haven't gone up with us. And it's like, we live in this country, and it's like, you know what, they just discovered this place called Earth 2.0. And it's like, you know, you think about leaving this planet and going someplace else. But would we even really be the ones who would flourish on another planet? It's like, are the greedy people going to get there first? kill off folks, pass on the religion, you know, enslave. Like, would some of these planets even want human beings on them? I mean, if you see what human beings have done and what we allow to be done to us and to the planet that we're on, you know, there's so much that I want to say, but the video is going on, so I'm going to let you get out of here. I want you to tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts on everything that we talked about. We talked about so much. Listen, let's hug. Let me get out of here. I'm going to go eat and cheer myself up. But what can I do? How do I get cheered up? How do I get cheered up? What is the solution to all of this stuff that's going on? What's the solution? How do we get out of this rut? How do we prepare a better future for the people who are to come after us? Hug me, let me get out of here. Hug me, hug me. Hug me. Oh. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, what? That's right. Love yourself. Love yourself. And come over to my website, TonyaTko.com, and get on my mailing list. You get a free copy to my book on self-love and trauma healing. And let's stay in touch, okay? TonyaTko, and I'm out. Peace.